to go. Is that correct? Good. I will of course play on easy. I mean what? Okay, I did not forget to split because we'll start after this cutscene. Like now. Did I split? No. Now I split. Good.
Yes.
Good. So as you can see, Lara learned a few new magic tricks in this game. Here we will do a shortcut kind of thing where we will swing to the top of this waterfall, so I don't have to do the introductory climbing puzzle. This, and as you may have seen there, I pulled out my guns at the exact moment that Lara stumbled at the ledge, and that will cause Lara to do some nice movement up this waterfall and some nice movement basically everywhere. So what I did there is called the airwalk, and you might want to get used to this. This is the main glitch we will be using to break the game. Basically what it allows us to do is it keeps our height at a constant value no matter what is beneath us, but we can't change the height by ourselves basically. For that we need to abuse level geometry. Like in this case we don't really you wouldn't expect to gain height there, but you know, once you roll into basically every corner of a map, you know where to gain height and where not. But in other cases it's really obvious, like these slopes to my right there, you can already see they're kind of sloped, so you would gain height there. Here I'll go over this part and then hopefully trigger, I did not trigger the next part of the level, never mind. That looks better. So we're now out of bounds, which is rather easy to do with the airwalk glitch, as you might assume. However, we cannot basically stay out of bounds indefinitely. Reason for that is most of the loading triggers are in bounds. This one, luckily, we can trigger from out of bounds, as you can see there. But for the next one, I have to go back in bounds. What you will also see is a lot of rolling. Front rolling is the fastest movement option in this game, which makes it somewhat easy because you always see where you're going, basically. So to my right there is another block, and I can stumble on that, which means I can get an airwalk off of it. And here is another case where you wouldn't really expect to be able to go out of bounds, but you can. And here I'm going to try to skip a QTE. I did it, good. Sadly, you will have to wait for the first QTE. I know QTEs are always the most exciting part of any game, but guess we have to wait for that. It's actually a rather tight window. You have to hit there to to load the next part of the level, but not trigger the QTE. And with that, we're already approaching the end of the first level, which is Bolivia. Here we just have to kill some guys on the other end of this bridge. However, if we're unlucky, there might be some leftover collision at the end of this bridge, and we will just drop down. No, good, okay. Never mind then, I didn't say that. So yeah, this brings us to the exciting combat of this game, which consists of pressing the left button and hopefully finding all the enemies. Sometimes they're a bit tricky and they can hide, but this is not looking too bad. I think there's one more, yes. Good. So that brings us to the next level, which is Peru. And this will also introduce the probably best feature of this game. Everybody loves it. You will see it shortly. First, we're going to zip up this building. We're playing with VSync off, which leads to some interesting side effects like that. And here I will kill a few guys because I want some grenades for a trick I will be doing later on. Technically I only need one, but for safety measures I kind of want two. That looks good, okay. And this brings us to the infamous bike segments. So, yeah, I don't really know how to introduce these. It's basically kind of an auto-scroller and kind of not. The level basically loops infinitely as long as you don't kill all the enemies. And as soon as you cleared out a group, the next one spawns, and after the last one is spawned, you basically are done with the level. That's the basic gist of it. In reality, it's a bit more I wouldn't say complex because that would be lying, but yeah, there are a lot of random factors that play into it. So, for example, the first guy that I will encounter, also get ready for some hyped. There we go. Always nice to have the NPCs cheer me on. For example, if I don't kill this guy before the first prompt, the next group will spawn later on. Okay, I killed him before. So you will now see the next guys approaching from behind. And one of them will actually die by driving into that medkit. Don't ask me why, but that just happens.
So in this exciting section, can you tell us what exactly went wrong that you started speedrunning this game instead of the actual good Tomb Raider games?
I ask myself that question every day. Basically, I wanted to say that I run the trilogy, so this was the game that was the last one that was left over. Actually, I'm lying, it was Underworld. But yeah, this one I started learning because it's basically the same as Anniversary, which was the first one I learned. So it used the same engine as the second game in the trilogy, so it was rather easy to adapt. So I know you didn't expect a serious answer, but there we go.
So essentially you made the mistake of doing one and then you were like, well, I guess I already learned it.
Then you get sucked into the maelstrom.
Yeah, I see. It's a vicious cycle.
Yes.
As a donation reader, I have to disagree with Eidgott. I love autoscrollers because we have 3 donations.
Sure.
Do you think we have time now or maybe the next one?
Absolutely. Go for it.
The first one is by Fino the Fox, $5. Hey Cadarev, remember no matter what you do, I'm always proud of you and support you. Make sure you do the Vilcabamba safe warp.
The what?
Vilcabamba safe warp.
Okay, I will try even though that's not in the game.
I'm sorry. Love, your favorite boy Fino.
Thank you very much, Fino.
Robbie XD,
no.
$3 says,
I mean,
at Cadarev, sigh. And Dcam65, $20. Remember, Caddy, if you screw up, it's never your fault.
Thank you very much. Actually, it was really good that there were some donations because I have no clue what else to tell you. As you can see, we're still doing the same thing. I can mention.
I have another question,
sure,
if you want.
Perfect.
So let's assume that Angel of Darkness wouldn't have been horrible, and they would have finished the trilogy. Would you also started running that trilogy because it's a trilogy?
I don't understand the question. Why would AOD not be terrible?
I see. Okay. Fair enough.
But yes, probably.
You would have run all the other games then, yeah. Okay.
So actually, when I were at the end of the first bike segment, and then I said first knowingly there that there will be another one later on, which actually will be about twice as long. So hope everybody's looking forward to that. So once we get on this truck, we will have a flashback sequence where we go back to when Lara was a young lass. And now we don't actually have weapons. And since I need my weapons for an airwalk, that's kind of a problem. But you maybe saw there for a brief second that I have flares instead, or I can show you right here. And flares can actually be used to pseudo airwalk. We call it a flare walk because we're very smart and funny. And the problem with the flares is they run out after like 3 seconds. So basically all your airwalks are timed. But luckily, it's just about enough to basically make it through this part of the level without too many detours. Also, I would like to point out the difference in polygons between the 2 characters you can see here on screen.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
It was a nice Kent, but he's over now.
No wonder he didn't get that many polygons.
So here we'll try to get a flare walk out of this weird camera angle, which is not that easy. And what it would allow me to do is to cross this part during the cutscene already. Okay, actually did it, nice. So that's one second last flare walk, just over this, and then get another one here. And that's the flashback sequence. So now we're back well, no, not back in the future, but back in the present, I guess. And after the exciting bike segment, I think it's perfectly fine that we now have an exciting swimming segment. So I will swim to the next, well, puzzle is also kind of exaggerated, but we basically just have to flip 4 switches. Since we're playing on easy, it's actually possible to not go and take any like additional breathing for this section. Because even though we now are running out of air and we will take damage, we can just use our medkits and basically put a band-aid on our suffocation. So that helps out. There, look. Wait, oh. Why is it bound to C and not V? Well, whatever. So now that we're finally, or we will be out of the water, that finally means I can get back to my nice airwalk. I missed it dearly. Once I know where I'm going, there we go. So you can actually get an airwalk of this part. It's a bit like more precise than it probably looks. I mean, okay, what even looks precise in this game? So these are slippery slopes, so you would actually go back down if you were to jump at them normally. And to my left is another QT that I'm skipping by going around this way. Also I have 0 shots on my assault rifle, that's nice. Now here I have a puzzle where I need to place these 3 boulders on the switches, but I will try to do a small shortcut. I think I'm a bit too late. Could still work, but I'm not in the right position. So I can actually use my grenades here that I collected earlier to try and blow this boulder down without having to go up there. Okay, got it, nice. Okay, so that saves a bit of time. And that's that puzzle. So now all we have to do is climb up that ladder there, and then we're off to the escape sequence for Peru, which is the final part of this level. And since we have a nice ledge to my left there, I think an airwalk is also a pretty good option.
Sorry, I wasn't keeping track of Anaya. I got distracted. She seems safe for now.
It's all right.
So these guys up there can actually shoot me out of my airwalk, which is rare, but it has happened. Not today though, apparently. Good.
I suppose I'll have to take the high road back.
Also, yes, Laura just suggested that we take the high road back, so I think I'm doing a good job at that. Alright, while we're at it, why doesn't the couch introduce himself? I think we were asked to do that. If you want to, of course, you can also remain anonymous.
Right, sure. No, then I'll begin. I'm Kayumon, also known at the Tomb Runner community. And yeah, next to me is...
I'm Eidgod, I'm a Tomb Raider 3 runner, and I like to mock the bad games.
And I'm irrelevant, and I have like no idea what's happening in this game.
Hi, Irrelevant.
No, but I'm Kara, and I just watch these speedruns because they're bad, and that
Thank
makes them
you.
funny.
Speaking of bad speedruns, like
Oh
when
dear.
is the next motorcycle section coming up? Like what's the ETA on that?
I know you're really looking forward to it. So we have next we have Japan, which will be interesting to look at from a different perspective, but you'll see about that. And then we have Ghana, which is like a 2-minute level, and then we finally get to Kazakhstan and our beloved bike.
So like 10 minutes?
Bit more, I'd say, but
Alright.
then again, I don't know.
Good
I
to know.
just press some buttons, and sometimes it works out.
So you can take a bathroom break at home now and come back in
Wow.
10 minutes, and then you get the good part.
Actually, I'd suggest to at least stay for the next minute, because the start of Japan is what everybody loves the most about this game. I don't really understand why.
I think
like,
it's the new outfit, isn't it?
why? What? I don't know. Like, I'm basically just focused on the center of the screen. I don't know what's happening.
Where am I?
Ever predictable. Good evening. I believe
This is her undercover outfit, by the way.
Undercover.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, right now our cover has not been blown yet, but of course it has to, and that leads to some more, let's say, modifications to our outfit.
Pay close attention to the hair physics as well.
Oh no, what happened to my outfit? So if you kill these guys quick enough, well, okay, that didn't work because this guy ran out. Maybe it's okay, still works because since I was already in this hallway, the next group of enemies did not spawn. It would have only been 2 more enemies, so it's not too big of a skip. Especially if you knock yourself down with a grenade, but I don't think that happened. So we picked up an AR there. Actually, we don't really need it because we will get a shotgun later in this level. And for most Tomb Raiders, when you have a shotgun, you use it. But first, we actually have to cross this, gap here, which is a very difficult task. I don't know how I would tackle that.
So technically, this level would have a motorbike section as well, but
That's right.
well, we just skipped it right there.
I'm sorry.
Why would you do this? Brum brum sections, like, come on, man.
So here's one of the few parts where I actually will use the AR, just because it's faster to shoot these rings off from a distance with the AR, if you actually hit them. So now we can interact, or we could interact with the screen there if we wouldn't get interrupted all the time. And if you wouldn't get interrupted all the time, thank you.
What a lovely evening to be outside.
Yes, exactly. So now we come to a climbing section. So what I said earlier about me not being able to alter the height of the airwalk by myself comes into effect here. So the most things in this climbing section I actually have to do somewhat the intended route. Because there is no level geometry we could abuse, especially not in a timely manner where it would be faster than doing it normally. However, I can do a small airwalk on this next ledge just to skip the or I could if I would get the airwalk, that would help. Just to skip the swinging animation there. And then at the end of this pole, I do another one.
Heights don't bother me, Alistair.
Right here, to skip this part and go to the final pole here.
I'll try my best to keep my chin
So
up.
now we're basically at the top, just have to cross this gap. Sometimes you actually can skip these swing around animations as well. I'm not getting it so far. Okay, never mind, I didn't get it. So I did not say that you can skip these. Here I will shoot down the chandelier. It will kill the 2 guys, but that's not why I'm shooting it down. It's mainly so the next guy actually already opens the door there. Now he comes running out. If I wouldn't do that, I would have to open the door, and it's slightly slower because you get a special animation. Then here I will quit out and resume the game, just because it basically resets the position of the enemies in this next room, and it makes it more likely that they will die to this grenade. Okay, 2 of them died, that's fine. Guess we just kick these guys. So now I have the shotgun, as I said. Want some more ammo with that, and I also definitely want 4 grenades, because next up is the boss fight. And this boss can actually glitch out and stay in mid-air, so basically you can airwalk. The problem with that is it's actually slower than if you would fight him the intended way, because if he's in mid-air, your grenades can't reach him, and as you will see, grenades do quite a bit of damage. Like, not maybe on this boss, but on the next one you will definitely see that grenades are a rather reliable damage source. Let's see what he does. And of course he's in mid-air. Hi there. So now you will see that he will simply stay there. He will not even return the fire. So it's basically like I can just shoot him down with a shotgun now, and it does a bit of damage, as you can see. But yeah, it would be a bit fast with the grenades. Also, he likes to talk a lot. Yeah, exactly, it's time to die. I agree. So that's Japan. As I said, next is Ghana. And I also said it's like a 2-minute level, which now obviously puts pressure on me to actually finish it in 2 minutes. This is a good start. Airwalking is always a good start.
It happens occasionally.
Now there's this big canyon in front of me, which is somewhat of an obstacle. Hopefully I can cross this safely, because I actually have to drop down there, like behind the textures, so I can't really see where I am. Of course I missed it.
Dang.
That was just for demonstration purposes. It's fine, it's fine. It looked sketchy from the beginning. So I guess now it's not going to be a 2-minute segment. Next try. Any wise questions you have now, Eidgod? I mean, what?
You caught me there.
Actually,
I'm
wait a
just
sec.
really looking forward to the bike section.
Good. Look, now I did it. Thanks. Actually, you should
Nice.
ask more questions, so I always get my stuff right. Can I please get the cutscene? Thank you.
What's
so,
your...
wait for a second.
Alright.
Actually, Lara is correctly asking where am I here. That's the thing, since I kind of entered this level in reverse, so we were actually supposed to go the other way here. It's somewhat dark, but here actually the level loads, so now we're good. So yes, please, what's the, I'm sure, very serious question?
What is actually your favorite thing about these games?
Not this one. I mean,
The credits.
that's a good option. Well, I mean, that's the question. What do you mean with these games?
Well, this trilogy.
Okay, that's difficult to say. What's a good thing about the trilogy? I mean, what? That's correct. By the way, if you want to see more bike actions, first of all, don't look at this right now. Oh, hi.
Nearly
Yeah,
died to a trap.
yes. More bike action will follow tomorrow evening when me and Kayumon will run Underworld. I hope you practiced your bike segment, because I didn't. I mean, what? So as I said, this boss will kind of showcase why grenades are a good option, especially on easy. Good boss.
Oh, here it comes, right?
Yes, well, not quite. We first have to get there, but
Aw.
we're already in the right location.
That cutscene. It's
Yeah.
teasing me.
Exactly.
So we have to get to this radio tower down there, just to trigger the level exit, basically, which will lead us to the bike. Yes, I know you can't wait for it. So
Finally.
it's Imperial that I actually get there.
The most skillful part of the run.
Yes, and the most consistent one. Now, as you can see, I'm somewhat high up, which is a problem because there is fall damage in this game, but I will try to avoid it, even though I'm pretty bad at this. Never mind. So if you switch your weapons after somersaulting, you have a short window during which you can use your grappling hook, and if you do so, for whatever reason, it basically cancels your fall damage, or it starts to calculate it from that height. So if you do it close enough to the ground, you just ignore all fall damage, which is what I successfully did there for once. I actually did not get that in my PB first try, which should tell you everything about my PB. So after killing 2 guys over here, you can actually kill any 2 guys, and the door opens and the train starts to move, and look at what we have here. Isn't this beautiful?
I can save you from Eidgod's egregious shitposting with 6 donations, if you like.
I'm sorry, I can't really hear you.
I can...
Okay,
can you
that's
hear me
better.
now? Okay, I can save you from Eidgod's egregious shit-talking with 6 donations, if you like.
Sure, I mean, what else am I supposed to do here?
We have $5 extra by Fino the Fox to correct the error from earlier. You're right, Vilkak Bumba Save Warp is not in Legend. I'll remind you to do it in your Underworld run. My Handsome Boy, that's the one you just talked about earlier.
I will leave the Volkabamba skip to Kayumon in Underworld tomorrow, it's fine.
I just want to see it, I don't care who does it. So, Flux Monkey donates $20 and only says, sour please.
Well, fittingly in the bike section, but in the wrong one. So Flux Monkey always likes to do Sour Please in the Peru bike section, so
Okay,
I
sorry
hope
about
this
that.
counts.
Appel, I don't know how to pronounce this. Appel donates $2. Cadarev, since you're learning a classic Tomb Raider, does that mean you're gonna learn every classic Tomb Raider, PogChan?
I'd like to remain neutral on that issue.
I'll take that for now. Smooth Operative, $5 says, good luck, Caddy. We're all cheering for you. Lots of love, Tippy.
Thank you very much, Tippy.
Gem Megami, $2. Good luck, Caddy Cheesecake. For the love of God, don't screw up in this run. Much love.
Did I screw up? I don't think so. Can someone confirm? Okay, thank you.
Spearmint, $5. Caddy, I love you.
Cadarev
to be honest. I mean, what?
Thank you very much, everyone.
I mean, you already did something with your run. You brought out the whole community, so that's at least something.
It's kind of sad that the community comes out for a legend run, but I didn't say that. It's a great game.
Yeah.
Just wait for your run tomorrow. It will be crazy.
Yeah, that's when the actual Tomb Raider running happens.
Exactly.
How much longer is this?
About as long as we already are in this. So this was the first segment.
All right, the first half.
Now we get to the second part, in which we not only have guys on motorbikes, because now we also have guys in jeeps, and they are really annoying because you can only hit them from the right side, but they can basically drive all over the screen and accelerate and brake basically at will. Nice, thanks for that, motorbike. Also nice camera. Yeah, so guys in jeeps, they're a problem. If you're lucky, you get one spawning next to one of those explosive containers, and you can knock them out in one go. Yeah, of course, you drive to the right. This is a cool section, by the way. What are you doing, mate? This does not count as screwing up, by the way. I'm convinced. That worked. So I'd how happy are you that you can finally witness this bike segment?
I'm very happy.
Good.
I don't think I've actually ever watched a whole speedrun of this game, so this is the first one here.
Yeah, me neither. I just
Do you
watched the
regret
bike
your
segments.
choice already? Or?
Yes.
Good.
I think I'm gonna watch many more. I gotta say though, I'm quite happy that you actually skipped most of the quick time events, so
That's right.
at least something you got rid of there.
Speaking of quick time events, after this bike segment we will have our first quick time event.
God damn it, I jinxed it. But yeah, that's definitely another mechanic that's not too exciting in the actual gameplay.
I mean, the thing about quick time events, I can actually already talk about it now, because as you can see, well, I mean, there is quite a lot going on, and it's very exciting, I know, but I kind of already want to focus on the QT. The QT in this game, like in Anniversary and in this game, you always get the same inputs you have to press. But for this game, you can actually match the inputs, like even before they show up. So you basically always get the perfect timing. For Anniversary, they did not do that. You actually have to time your inputs there. Like, even if you press the correct one before it shows up, you will get a fail. But actually, forget that I said that. I actually just have godlike reactions, and I will always get these QTs perfectly. So I think we have like one more group of guys, cheap guys, and then...
Sounds to me like Anniversary's the better game out of the two then.
I would wholeheartedly agree, yes.
Because it actually requires some skill in the skillless part.
And there are no motorbikes. But wait, no, that's the bad part, isn't it? I mean, there is a motorbike in the cutscene, so I guess that counts.
Yeah, just showing up is good enough. Doesn't have to drive.
So that was the last guy, I hope. There should be the level. Yes, good, okay. So now we just have a small like intermission with no enemies again, and then we have to do some more jumps, which is really easy to do with the amazing camera in the motorbike segments, trust me. And then once we land on the train, hopefully we land on the train. Yes, as I said, first QTE, very exciting. I hope I will get the timing down.
If you miss the train, do you have to do it all over again?
No, you actually look at this camera. I can totally see where I'm going. It's nice. No, you actually I got a checkpoint before the first jump there, so...
God damn it.
Sorry. I can do replay level after this. No, I won't do replay level. Ah, phew, okay, good. Okay, now the question is if I actually can remember the inputs. I think it was down first. Good, nice. Look at these reactions. Even before it's the wrong input now. Okay, one more.
For any potential game developers watching, please never add anything like this to your game. Thank you.
So now we're inside the secret lab, and from here on it's basically some more airwalking, but actually we have not yet found a way to go out of bound in this level, so it's actually just basically following the normal layout, just ignoring all the gaps and missing floors. Like this one. Okay. And at the end of this segment, I will trigger a checkpoint behind a closed door, so the door opens. Don't question it. I will do that by backwards handspringing basically into the door. However, the game can crash there. It rarely happens. I really hope it doesn't. It shouldn't, but that basically means it will. So that's the closed door up there. Let's see. Cadarev walk here. Backwards handspring into it. That's okay. Good. There is another spot where the game can crash. Also in this level, they really like Kazakhstan. First the bike segment, then multiple crashes. It's really like the picture-perfect level of this game.
They put in all the programming skill they had.
So now we get an airwalk of this. And then once I go through this door, it might crash, but I really don't think so good. Okay. Now this is the final corridor. With airwalking it should be not too much. Yes, it should not be too much of a problem, as I said. As I said, with airwalking it should not be too much of a problem. Here I just hope I... Good, okay, yeah. You can kind of get stuck there on the bar there, but that was fine. So now we get to this boss. And you saw the two bosses earlier, the one in Japan and the one in Ghana. So those were not really, exciting, they were rather quick. Luckily this boss is really exciting and complex, because we have to hit 4 switches and then shoot 4 glowy thingies. So we actually do not have to attack the boss at all, which is another great fight. So if you keep count, this is the third one now. I hope it is the third one.
I guess this counts as a puzzle, right?
If you wanted to. So now I just have to hop into the gun there and shoot these 4 glowy thingies, and then actually use my grappling hook. Nice, thanks for the knockdown. Use my grappling hook on the central structure there. I totally forgot about... Can you please stop? I totally forgot about that part. Unoptimized, shaking my head. Oh yeah, that's not a glowy thingy. This guy. Good. Amazing boss. So next up is England, which is basically, for most people, their favorite level. It's definitely the most technical one in the speedrun. And I solved that by airwalking, for once. Here I want to maintain a certain height, so I can airwalk over this door. Good. It's actually a bit tighter than it looks. If you're slightly too low, you just don't make it over. And if you're too high, you can't make it through the archway. Here, I'll try to jump over. Good. Then, as we all know, forklifts protect from grenade explosions. That's also handy. And this forklift, we need to break down or rather lift up the gates in the next corridor. We can actually glitch through this part here, even though you can, as you can see, destroy it, which is faster. So we can get into this corridor and over these traps here without the forklift, but we cannot get past this gate. Even though it looks like you can get over it, there's still an invisible wall there. I did not mean to disengage there. And now we actually have our second quick time event, and this one I really need to focus on. Let's see. Okay, I did it, nice. Here I will do another fall damage cancel, but this one I will use to actually grab the ledge, hopefully. Good. Because if I get an airwalk of this part, I'm high enough where I can go out of bounds immediately after this small corridor. And once there, I need to load the next level right next to some spinning blades, which is a bit annoying. Good, I did not forget to bind walk to alt, that's good. So I need to... okay, good. So now this part of the level is loaded, and we can still, out of bounds, clip back inbounds in this tunnel, which should bring us to the top there, which will trigger the escape sequence. Okay, good. Just up there. That's the checkpoint. So now once again I quit out, I resume, and now I'm magically on the other side of the door. That's good. So I can hit this switch or lever and get another airwalk, and this will lead us to the escape sequence. Now this escape sequence actually has a pretty big RNG component to it. For example, these blades could not be blocked by that block, which is amazing, because then you have to basically... or they can knock you down, that's also lovely, thank you. So now, let's improvise a bit. We have to block these blades. Oh, wow, that's a grenade. That's 2 grenades. You know what? That's better. So I actually need to mainly block these so I can get an airwalk of these and not get knocked down, of course. So with this airwalk, we can also cross these fire pits. And as I said, if you have a shotgun and a Tomb Raider, you usually want to use it. So this elevator will bring us back up to where we got the QTE. Also, I can fall down here because this is an amazing jump. Good. And now maybe we can see some flying dogs. Nice. Already got the first one. Also, we can see some flying humans. And now we're basically back at where we first got the forklift, and we just have to kill the last 2 guys here to trigger the level end. And I forgot that I have grenades, but whatever. Okay. Which brings us to Nepal, which is another very short level, hopefully, because it involves another fall damage cancel from rather high up, which means there is a rather high possibility of me not getting it. But first we start down here, and we need to get some height, and we do that on this side of the mountain for a bit, because it's a rather tall mountain. I hope you enjoy this premiere speedrunning experience. Do you, Eidgard?
Very much so.
Thank you. Glad to hear that.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how hard is this?
-1.
-10 is what I was about to say. Hence, now I don't have to say it. Okay, so here's the fall damage cancel I was talking about. So I need to get all the way down there, as you will see. And I can't see when I will land exactly, so that's even more fun. Hopefully that was the right timing. I did not count. Good, okay. Yeah, my god, Laura. So now it's basically just wrapping up this level. There's not too much more to do except gaining some height there, thank you. On this side there's just no collision. Like, there is a corridor, but they just obviously did not expect someone to go there. And that means we can load the next part from out of bounds, which also allows us to hopefully do so on this part. We could clip back inbounds here, but we didn't. Good. Like, it doesn't lose too much time, but since we're still out of bounds, we can cut straight to this corridor. It will magically pop up here. Good. And then we're already approaching the end of Nepal. where we will gain Excalibur, which we will use in the final fight, because that's what's after this.
Don't you have to get stronger first to pull it out?
I'm sorry, I think you confused this with the good game.
Oh, my bad.
But yes, my weapon will feel stronger. So as you saw, the gate was closed. I guess it was open and now it's closed. So. Here comes Excalibur.
That's all it does. It's been a big waste of time.
Now I suppose it's time to work out how to leave this monster.
And now we just get out of here and get pushed back by the blocks. That's also nice. Okay. Always exciting to do this jump. So that's Nepal, and now we're back to Bolivia where we started, except with a lot more enemies and a magic sword, and a really great boss fight. So first we have to just clear out these guys, which as you can see requires a lot of precise, totally not auto-aim locked on targeting and left mouse button mashing. But the actual final boss is a bit more tricky, just because of basically it can evade at any time, and even if it's like visually you hit them with your projectile, as long as they're in the evade animation, it just completely ignores your projectile, which is great and totally not annoying. So this guy has basically always drained 50% of his or its health bar, and then you stab it, and then it regains 25% and so on. So that's the first phase. Now I have to stab it. If you're lucky, you can get a pseudo stun lock like I just did there. It's not really a stun lock, you just basically get lucky enough where it doesn't evade immediately, so your next projectile still hit. If you just mash left mouse button, it will not work, because the stun animation is longer than your fire rate, basically. So your next projectile would get ignored, like that. Oh, I did not look at their health bar. So this should be the final phase now. They're all the same, like no difference between the phases. Please don't knock me down, thank you. Because yes, if you do die here, you start over, like with the final boss. And one more hit, good. And that should be it. Nice time. So yeah, that was Tomb Raider Legend. As I said, tomorrow evening we will first have God. Do you know what time it is?
I think it's at like 9 p.m.
Okay.
European time.
Yes, and afterwards me and Kayumon will have our Underworld race. So if you're interested in more Tomb Raider speedrunning, I don't know why you would after this run, but just hypothetically if you were...
just assume it gets better.
First that, and if you actually are interested beyond the scope of this marathon, we have a known Discord called Tomb Runners, or Tomb Runner. You can find the link on the speedrun.com forum, or you just hit me up, or Heidgod, or Kayumon, or whoever, and we will gladly assist. So yeah, that's Tomb Raider Legend. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for playing.
Before you leave, I have one more donation for you by San, saying, "Love you, Caddy. I wish you luck from France." Smiley face.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Cadarev, for this very exciting Tomb Raider run. And thank you, Heidgod, for the very informative and quality commentary.